Chicago docks, November 1955. Robert Morrison stood before 200 dockworkers, his voice cutting through the wind off Lake Michigan. "Brothers, for 15 years we've bent our backs for pennies while Anderson Shipping posts record profits. No more, we strike." The roar of approval died when Charles Anderson's black sedan pulled up. Silver-haired, cold-eyed, he stepped out flanked by 3 enforcers. Morrison called this off. "No," Anderson nodded. His men grabbed Robert, beat him bloody while his wife Elizabeth and sons Victor, 8, and David, 5, watched in horror. Anderson addressed the crowd. "Anyone with Morrison is finished. Walk away, keep your job with a raise." One by one, the workers abandoned Robert, leaving him bleeding on the concrete. 6 months later, Detroit. The Morrisons lived in one room. Robert wore a sandwich board advertising suits. Elizabeth worked 16-hour factory shifts. Young Victor heated soup for his brother, while their mother counted coins that never added up. "Anderson's hiring in Detroit," Robert told Elizabeth. "He destroyed you, and you want to crawl back. I want my sons to eat." She looked at him with something colder than anger. "Find something else." But there was nothing else. Elizabeth worked herself to exhaustion. The boys grew up watching their father's pride cost them everything. 20 years later, Victor Morrison, 24, stood in his apartment knotting a silk tie. Danny Sullivan's right-hand man in Detroit's underworld. Expensive suits, hard eyes, one promise: his family would never starve again. Across town, David Morrison, 19, sat surrounded by law books, law school on scholarship, living on instant coffee and determination. He still believed in justice. Victor visited David's cramped apartment, peeling off 20s, "Get some decent food. I don't want your money. I take care of family, more than our old man ever did. Don't talk about Dad that way." He stood up for what was right. "You know what honor gets you? A pauper's grave and sons who hate you." When Danny Sullivan was murdered, Victor found Robert in an alley, fury in his eyes. "They killed Danny, I have to respond. Don't do anything stupid. Better than ending up like you, poor and forgotten." "The difference between us," Robert said quietly, "is I can still look myself in the mirror." They didn't speak again for months. David's law career and Victor's criminal world collided in court. Defending an innocent kid, the prosecutor said, "Perhaps Mr. Morrison should ask his brother about organized crime connections." The kid was convicted because of Victor's reputation. David stormed into Victor's office. "You cost me that case." Victor pulled out a ledger. "Where do you think Dad's rent came from?" "His medicine. I've been paying his bills for years through intermediaries." David stared stunned. "Why?" "Because family takes care of family, even when family doesn't want it." Robert's heart attack brought them together at the hospital. Victor leaned over the bed, voice fierce. "I've been paying your bills for 5 years, kept you from being evicted 7 times, and you won't even look at me." Robert's eyes went wide. "Your dirty money." "Yeah, me, the criminal, the son you're ashamed of. I kept you alive." "I didn't ask." "No, you just used it while pretending not to know. Maybe this heart attack will kill the stubborn pride that's been killing you slowly. Maybe you'll admit your precious principles didn't save Mom. That standing up to Anderson accomplished nothing except making us miserable. I did what was right. Those men abandoned you, and Mom died while you stood on your principles. I swore I'd never let my family starve. So yeah, I'm a criminal, but at least the people I love don't suffer." The heart monitor beeped frantically. David pushed Victor out. Robert stared at the ceiling, tears streaming. "Tell me he's wrong." David couldn't. Then came the letter. Charles Anderson Jr. offered Robert $100,000 and a board position, restitution for what his father had done. Robert burned it. David exploded. "You're being offered justice and you're too proud to take it. Mom died because we were poor. If I take their money, it means your mother died for nothing. She died because you chose pride over us. Victor's right about you." Victor was indicted. Federal charges, facing 20 years. Robert did something he hadn't done in years. Went to Victor's house. They sat in Victor's study, whiskey between them. "I'm sorry," Robert said. Victor looked up, disbelieving. "I made choices. You became what you are because I failed you. I stood on my principles, and my family suffered." Victor's composure shattered. I needed you. When I was scared, didn't know what to do. I needed my father and you weren't there. Too busy being right to be my dad. Robert pulled his son into his arms. I'm here now. The trial lasted 3 months. Robert attended every day. David served on the defense team. Guilty on all 15 counts. 12 years, parole after 8. As they led Victor away, he looked back. Take care of each other. In those final 2 weeks before prison, the Morrison family had dinner together. 3 generations. Robert told stories about Chicago. Victor shared memories of their mother. David talked about his work. We're not so different, Victor said. We all fight for what we believe in. Just different battlefields. I'm starting to understand, Robert said. Took me long enough. 8 years later, Victor walked out of prison at 37. Robert waited with his cane, David beside him, Sophia holding 10-year-old Elizabeth. Welcome home, son. Victor took a job at a community center. Terrible pay, hard work but honest. The Morrison brothers never fully agreed on their choices, but they'd learned. Righteousness without compassion is just pride. Loyalty without principle is just expedience. On Sundays they had dinner, arguments and laughter and forgiveness. Robert died peacefully at 73, in an apartment paid for by both his sons' honest work. His last words, I was wrong about a lot of things, but I was right about you too. You turned out good, both of you. His headstone read, Robert Morrison, he stood for something. The wall between them had finally come down. What remained was a foundation, cracked but strong enough to build on. And maybe that was victory enough.